Student loans should not be forgiven. Oh no, he didn't. What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing student loans and should or should they not be forgiven. I did a vote on my Instagram story this week. If you're not following me there already, go do so at John Scholler. But I did a vote on my story and the results were about 48 to 52% whether they should or should not be forgiven. Let me guess, the 52% that voted they should be forgiven have student loans, and the 48% that voted they should not be forgiven do not have student loans. No surprise there. First of all, I want to preface this video and say that these views and opinions are mine alone, and that my feelings and thoughts on this matter could change if I had enough information presented in front of me. I think we should all operate that way with an open mind, but as it stands right now, I think that student loans should not be forgiven, and I'll explain why. Look, I'm not completely unbiased myself. My wife, Rihanna, is just finishing up grad school where we have just shelled out over $100,000 over the last 3 years for her school. We didn't use student loans for any of that. We paid for all of it with our own money. I also don't have any student loans myself, and I never really went to college, unless, of course, you're going to count the 3 classes that I went to at the very beginning just because of societal pressure, and I thought I'd be nobody if I didn't go to college. Shortly after those 3 classes, I ended up starting my own businesses myself, and I've been doing so ever since. I've been an entrepreneur for going on 12 years now, and that's probably largely why I feel this way. Let's say we forget everybody's student loans debt, right? Then what do we do for all the people that paid that money to go to school? And look, I'm not someone who's like, oh, well, if they're gonna have it good, we should have it too, or if they don't have it good, we shouldn't either, or whatever. I know not everything's fair, but that's a huge problem, right? Is anybody gonna give Rihanna and I any money back for the $100,000 we just put out over the last 3 years? But even worse than that, let's talk about small business owners. Small business owners rarely can get loans, right? All the people that went to college usually can get loans readily. Like all the time they're having people pitch to them, they're having money thrown at them. With a parent signature, they can get almost any money they want to go to any school. But as a small business owner, it's really hard, if not next to impossible, to get a loan in your first 2 years of business. So what about all of them? Should they also be given a lot of money for free to start up businesses? Also, what about all the people that dumped their own money into it and they didn't win, right? So college is about the same way. You paid to go to college and it didn't work out in your favor, and now you want someone to forgive those loans. Well, I don't think that's quite right, because what happens if I started a business and that business failed in 2 years? Should everybody chip in and give me my money back? Right? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, another thing is you knew that going to school was going to cost this much money and you didn't get a job that could pay it back. So Rihanna and I looked at school just in that way. It was a return on investment. School was going to cost her $100,000, but she'd make $180,000, give or take, in her first year at work. So, was the investment worth the return? Absolutely. We'd sacrifice 3 years, pay $100,000, and then she'd make all that money back and then some in the first couple years of work. That made sense for us. But what if you are somebody that is paying for college for $100,000 and that degree pays you $35,000 or $40,000 a year, or even worse than that, there is no job in that field? And look, I'm not trying to be insensitive to the matter. I feel really bad for all those people. This is why I do what I do. I try to teach people not to do this and try to teach people how to get out of those situations who have gotten into them. But at the end of the day, it was a decision that you made. I did not make that decision or force you to go to college. Why should I have to, with my tax dollars, pay for your school because it did not work out in your favor, especially when if I go out and start a business tomorrow and it fails, nobody's going to give me any money, and I just do not think that that is super fair or the right way to do it. Also, we all know that if you don't learn from your mistakes, you will often repeat them. And so this was a huge mistake. And look, there's things that can be fixed, right? I think you should be educated before you have to get a loan, right? I think that these people that are given the loans, you need to pass a certificate with somebody like me or a school or something before you take out that large of a loan to know exactly what you're getting into. Nobody's doing that. And of course, they don't want you to do that. They want you to be uneducated. They want you to say, here's $100,000. You'll pay it off in 3, 4, 5 years. And look, as a bonus, we won't even make you pay on those loans until 6 months after you graduate. Well, that just doesn't even work out. And even worse than that is oftentimes these parents get left on the hook because the kids can't pay it. So the parents are left with it because it's in their name as well, and they have to pay it now, and it usually hurts their credit as well. You're talking about taking down 2 different households for one loan. It's just absurd and crazy. I do think the madness needs to stop. But I do not know how we do that, and I do not think the right way is just by saying everybody's loan's forgiven. We need people to learn from their mistakes, and we do need a way out of this, and we do need to get away from the traditional way we've been doing things. But this is not the way to just say, hey, everybody, your loans are forgiven, now run off and do whatever you want, because nobody's going to learn from that. Not the kids, not the parents, and definitely not the system. We need some type of education system or some type of system in place where it makes it harder to get those loans, and that money needs to go straight to what it's used for. Here's the other problem. Kids are getting these loans and they're buying whatever they want. I don't understand this at all, but the money just kind of goes to the kids. At least that's what I've seen, right? They just get these huge checks in the mail. The kid pays the tuition, hopefully, and their boarding or their room, and then the rest of the money is up to them what they want to do with it. That's crazy. I've heard of people buying cars, computers, gaming computers, video games, all types of things with their student loan money, not knowing that that $60 video game is really going to cost them like $120 after interest, because it's going to take them the next 20 to 30 years to pay off that loan. And I just think it's absolutely insane. There's something that needs to be done about it. But again, this is where I stand on the subject. I do not think that forgiving everybody's loans is going to serve the purpose that we want it to serve or fix the problem we want it to fix. I think the way we need to do this is, once again, implement an educational system and make it harder for kids and parents to get these loans to go off to these schools. Please keep in mind that the colleges are a business, so that as long as they keep raising the prices and people keep paying them, they're just gonna keep doing that. Why would you not? If you had a t-shirt business and you were at $30 a t-shirt and you raised it to $50 and more people kept buying them, you would try $70, then $90. And it really isn't up to you to really care where they're getting that money or how they're going to pay for that if they're charging it with credit. You just care that your product's selling. And maybe that is a problem with capitalism. And look, usually my views are really liberal. If you know me, I'm more liberal thinking, but in this I'm a bit conservative, because I don't think you can just relieve billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of loans and nobody pay for it down the line. Somebody's going to have to pay for that. Nothing is free. Look, I know this topic can be very controversial, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. Please comment below and try to be nice. Remember, I'm not picking on anybody or calling anybody stupid for having out loans. I just do not think that they should all be forgiven, and I know that's going to cause a lot of drama, or a lot of people are going to get upset with me because they're $80, $100, $200,000 in student loan debt and they have no idea how to get out of that. But you're going to have to learn from that mistake. Unfortunately, there are ways out of it. You're just going to have to make a ton of sacrifices. You know, there's programs out there that will pay back your school or pay for your school if you work for them for a certain amount of years. Yes, that's unfortunate, but there's always a consequence for every action. And unfortunately, this is an action that you took at 18, 19, 20 years old because of the lack of education, unfortunately, and now you're going to have to pay that back in some way. But I do not think that as a taxpayer, I should pay for everybody's colleges when it did not benefit me directly. It may indirectly, and I know that's an argument because it could boost the economy, but you're going to have to show me the numbers, right? And you're also going to have to provide the same for small businesses, which also boost the economy, but they do not get the same luxury of having all this forgiven. So please comment below and let me know your opinions. Do you think they should be forgiven? Do you think they should not be? Do you think some type of educational system should be put in place so that we make better decisions as kids and as parents when getting out these loans? Please let me know. I hope you liked this video. I'm going to do more videos like this where I just talk about my opinions, because I think I have some more out of the box ideas on ways to fix things. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, smash the thumbs up button, and I'll see you on the next video.